So how's everybody? Cool? Cool. So I got a couple of announcements that I want to make here this morning, or this afternoon, at the beginning of the class. And then I've got a little survey that I want you guys to fill out on your cognitive, the way that your cognitive analysis functions work in your brain. And we'll talk a little bit about that afterwards. So, first announcement, one of my former students, is a financial advisor now for Transamerica, and he's doing a wealth management seminar this weekend. He wanted me to invite my students to come, so I'm telling you guys about it. If you go to the information section of Blackboard, and you scroll down to other materials, you'll see Rich Man Education Flyer. All the details for the seminar are in there. So enjoy some drinks and snacks while learning all the tips and tricks to reach true financial independence. So I told him I would tell you guys about it. If you're interested in going, all the information, including the RSVP, is there. You can just open the flyer. What's that?
Rich Man, is that his name, or is that what it's called? Rich Man?
No, there's a book. There's a guest speaker named Mark Kwan. Mark wrote a book called Rich Man, Poor Bank. So any of you that are interested in your own personal finances or are interested in being financial planners, you might want to go to this. So that's that. And then I've updated my list for LinkedIn profiles and professional development plans. So I'm still missing some of them. Mohammed, did you send me the message? Did you send me a message for LinkedIn? Okay, send me a LinkedIn message. Okay. And send me your professional development plan again. Okay? Yes. Just once. Abid Alansi. Like I said before, send me a message on LinkedIn again, okay? Cool. Muhammad Al-Ashi. I need a professional development plan. Ahmed Al-Bakami. Okay. I need your professional development plan. Did you send it to me already or not? Okay, cool. You don't need to do it once. Abdullah Al-Bada. I need your professional development plan again. Fawaz Al-Haif. I need your professional development plan. Okay? And I need you to connect with me on LinkedIn. Can you send me an in-mail? Thanks. Faisal Al-Harbi. Faisal, how are you? I need you to send me your professional development plan. Okay? Talal Al-Harbi. I need both LinkedIn connection and professional development plan. Ahmed Al-Johani. I need a professional development plan. Rashed Al-Mari. I need you to send me your professional development plan again, okay? I know you did it last semester, but send it to me again. Thanks. Naif Al-Muhammad. I need both. Hamoud Al-Otaibi. I need you to connect with me on LinkedIn, and I need you to send me for your professional development plan. Okay? Abdullah Al-Ruwai. I need both from you too. Connect with me on LinkedIn and send me your professional development plan. Saleh Al-Shnifi. I need your professional development plan. Can you send it to me again? I know you did it before, but can you send it to me again? Thanks. Saleh Al-Sugair. No? Okay, I need his plan too. David Bukatz. I need both. David Cooper. I need both from you.
Question. Was I supposed to receive an email from you?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't. Okay, on my Outlook, right?
It should have gone to dcooper14 at csub.edu.
When did you send that out?
When?
Yeah.
I sent it the weekend before. I think it was the Monday before classes started. So just one day before classes started.
Is there a way you can send it to me again?
Yeah. Can you do one better and send me a message?
That's fine.
Woods J7, or sorry, J Woods 7.
Yeah, I have your email written down.
Okay, cool. Send me an email and remind me, and I'll send it to you again. Logan Craig. I need both. Madison DeGarmo, I think, has a game right now. I need her professional development plan. Khalil Denari. I need both. Gustavo Hernandez. I need both.
You need to want me to message you on LinkedIn?
Huh? Yeah. Send me a message on LinkedIn and send me your professional development plan again. Thanks. Jessica Hernandez. I need both. Christine Hurton. Is it Hurton or Hetton? Hurton. Can you connect with me on LinkedIn?
I just did it. I just pressed connect. I've never done one before, so I just made it like 2 days ago.
That's fine.
And then I had to do some stuff, so I just literally just did it right now.
Okay. Kevin Hiles. I need both from you. I need you to connect with. Oh no, sorry. I'm connected to you on LinkedIn already, but I need your professional development plan. Okay, cool. Nestor Lopez Reyes. Nestor, how are you? I need both things from you. Can you send me a LinkedIn message, an email? And I need you to email me your professional development plan again. Okay? Thanks. Lupita Lopez, how are you? I need your professional development plan.
I'm working on it. I'll send it to you by tonight.
Okay. Sarah Luna. I need both. Rito Michelle. Is that you? Did I pronounce it correctly?
Mitchell.
Huh?
Mitchell. Rito Mitchell.
Oh, Mitchell. Okay, instead of Michelle, Mitchell.
Yeah.
I need your professional development plan. Okay?
When's the last day for that?
What's that?
When's the last day to turn that in?
Just ASAP. There's no the last day, but the sooner you do it, the sooner I can get your feedback. Alexis Morris, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I need both. I need you to connect to me on LinkedIn.
I did both of them already. The night you sent it, or the day you sent it.
Can you send the professional development plan again? And then send me an in-mail on LinkedIn. Okay, thanks. Lise. I don't see Lise right now. I need her professional development plan again. Chad Neal.
Yeah.
How are you, Chad?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I need your professional development plan.
Yeah, I sent that, so I'll have to resend it. But
Can you resend it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just may have missed it.
It's fine. I just like edited it and then like resent it.
Yeah.
back to you. Okay.
That'd be great.
That's fine.
Alexander Norman.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yes.
Okay. I need both from you.
Both?
I need you to connect with me on LinkedIn
I did that earlier today.
earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the development plan, I gotta
And then professional development plan I need.
I'll do that.
Okay, cool. Alejandro Ortiz. I need a connection on LinkedIn. Caleb Richmond. I need your professional development plan. Okay. Marielle Rodriguez. How are you, Marielle? Marilee, I'm sorry. I need your professional development plan. Okay? Cole, can you send me your professional development plan again? I know you did it last semester.
Well, I sent it again this semester.
Did you?
I sent it I don't know if I sent it to my work email or the other email, but I sent it.
Can you send it again? I didn't get it. Sorry, man.
All right. Just gotta find it again.
Jessica Velasquez. I need you to connect to me on LinkedIn. And then Shannon Vidal. I needed a professional development plan. Okay, that's it. So that goes through what I need from everybody. Now, I'm going to pass around a little survey that I want you guys to take. It's both sides. So think about it, take your time, take 10 minutes or so, fill this out, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You're going to keep it for yourself anyway. Huh? Oh, yeah, can you send me an email? I didn't say your name? I'm sorry. So, yeah, send me an email to jwood7 and tell me, remind me that you just joined the class, and I'll send you what you need. I didn't? Uh-oh. Really? Okay, send me an email, jwood7 at cscp.edu. Tell me that you're not showing up on the list, and I'll add you. Okay? It's probably because you signed up through a different way. It didn't show up on the list. Just email me to remind me, and I'll add you. No problem. No, you're just going to keep these for yourself as part of your eventual entrepreneurial development plan. No problem. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, did you not get one? Sorry. Did you just get here? Okay. I need you to, well, everybody's filling out a survey on your way that you think as an entrepreneur. Okay? filling out a little survey on how you think as an entrepreneur. Hmm? No, no. I don't know what that would mean. No, you don't need to add the score. What's that? I can't tell. I'm not connected to the internet right now. Is everybody done? Anybody not done? Okay, keep going. Okay, so the sheet is broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. I'd like to talk about each section in turn. So, who had some lower numbers on goal orientation? Which one of the questions is particularly low?
I don't know. I feel like this survey isn't very helpful to me because I don't think about any of this when I'm doing stuff.
You don't think about any of this when you're doing stuff?
I don't think about my strategies when I'm like doing work. I don't think, oh, hey, have I done this before?
Uh-huh.
I just do my work and that's it.
Well, maybe you should think about it. Yes?
It might even get like a reflex. You don't even think about doing it, but you already doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wouldn't know. I feel like my answers are kind of half-assed.
Um,
I was trying to relate it more towards work.
huh?
I was trying to relate these
I
answers
try to
more towards
too,
work.
but work is
Some of them didn't make sense. Some of them didn't work.
that's hard to understand.
So, did you put any lower numbers on goal orientation?
Yeah.
What was one of the questions?
I asked myself how well I accomplished my goals for the next day. I agree with that, because once you accomplish a goal, you don't think about it anymore. It's done. So like building a desk, I just built a desk a while ago. I didn't say, oh, how well did I
You
do
don't think
it?
about what else you could have done.
So, but you put a lower number on that.
Yeah.
But you said you do.
No, I don't. I'm saying I just built a desk and I never asked myself how well did I do it, and I didn't. I was just like, I'm done.
Okay.
I tend to look back in the past. Like, it's a hard task to understand, but you get experience from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I tend not to like dwell too much in the past, I guess. Like what she's saying is like once I completed the job I needed to, I don't have time to sit and like be mesmerized by it. I gotta jump onto something else
Yeah.
before. But at the end of the day, you know, you're sitting there drinking a beer, like, oh, I did a lot of shit today.
Plus, you have like you have to put like pictures on Instagram of how cute it turned out, and then
Of what?
I said you have to take pictures and post them on Instagram. Like you're not thinking about anything else but that. So it was good. I was just
Oh, okay.
But then if
I was a little slow there. Sorry.
if it's like a test though, and you get your answers back, I feel like you would analyze it then,
Uh huh.
just to learn more for like a
too many
future test.
tests. Too many tests to take into
But I don't know. When I hear task, I think of like something else.
What do you think of?
Like, I literally was thinking in my head of building a desk or like building something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, a task can be anything. The reason I want you guys to fill this out is because all of these different questions, the tasks that you do as an entrepreneur, talking to potential customers, talking to expert advisors, putting together your marketing plan, putting together your financial projections, like all of these tasks, the more you do all of these activities in your brain, the better of an entrepreneur you're going to be. So, yes.
So, because obviously, because once I've accomplished my goals, I would say obviously all of us can agree that one of our goals is to get a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But so once you walk across that stage, I wouldn't necessarily go back and be like, oh, how well did I accomplish getting a degree? Because I got a degree. So that's where like that goal oriented, yeah, it's. I feel like we move on to the next. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I mean, after that, maybe you're thinking of should have taken certain classes for learning the job.
Yeah, I guess. Or like, oh, onto my master's or whatever it is. I don't go back and be like, oh, I wish my GPA was higher. I already have a piece of paper now. Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't really care what your GPA was as long as you have the paper.
Well, in doing entrepreneurial tasks,
I guess that's the thing.
I want you to think about ways that you can do this. So, how could you ask yourself how well you've accomplished a goal after doing it? How could you push yourself
Make
to
money
do
on it.
that? Huh?
You make money. If you're like, if I, the way I think about it is, I'm completing a goal and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm selling the product or I'm doing a service for somebody at this point. So if I'm doing a good job on something that's goal oriented, so I have this project and I gotta get it done.
Mm-hmm.
I finish it. If I'm making money on the project, I did it good. If I didn't make money, something went wrong. That's how I kind of think about it.
Yes.
I feel like you don't look back if you want to better yourself. So if you don't look back, then that's your personal point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to better myself.
You don't want to better yourself?
So yeah, if you like didn't live up to what you like your expectations of that task, then you would look back. But if you were satisfied with your result, I don't see the point of really going
Or
back.
maybe it's more of a just pushing.
What if you still carry on whatever, like, say you succeeded at your goal that you
Mhm.
set? Wouldn't you carry those strategies into another goal that you set? And like using your knowledge or with the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's such a cool thing. And it's just using your experience to meet another goal that you set yourself. Because you're always setting goals. It's not like you set a goal and then you don't set another goal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're constantly setting goals for yourself. You'll use your failures as well because then you don't want to do it over again. And you'll use whatever strategy you use to succeed in other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that like that you would go back and rethink of your goal and how you succeeded in stuff.
Okay. So how about metacognitive knowledge? Who had some lower scores on this one?
Kind of.
Huh?
Kind of.
Well, so, like which questions?
I think it's about how others may react to my actions.
Okay. You don't?
No, I really don't. I'm gonna do what's good for me. I don't really care if anybody else likes it. I think anybody who knows me knows that.
I didn't think of it that way.
I really don't care.
I thought.
I'm just doing what I want to do.
Yeah, I thought of it in a negative way. It feels like negative action.
Say again.
I thought of it negatively.
Mm-hmm. How so?
How when people react to my actions when I read the question, I thought about that. I thought about like when I said something wrong
Mm-hmm.
and I got a bad reaction out of it. But other than that,
Well, sometimes when you sometimes when you do think about others' reactions, it prompts you to notice things about a situation that you otherwise wouldn't have noticed.
Once again, I related this all back to work.
Huh?
I related this all back to work, not like a personal aspect. I related this all back to like if I'm working in my field, the electrical field.
Uh-huh.
If I'm sitting there doing something and the code says I need to do it one way, but the project manager, the general, is sitting there telling me that we need to do it this way, another way. I don't care what you say. I'm doing it based off what this thing says. And I've gotten yelled at a few times, and I really don't care. I'm not going to change what I got to do for somebody else. I'm doing it. Yeah, for them to try to cut costs.
I would encourage you, not necessarily in that situation, but when starting a new venture, when going through the tasks of brainstorming, web design, etc., to keep in mind other people's reactions might bubble up some information that otherwise wouldn't bubble up. I scored kind of low on. I think of several ways to solve a problem and choose the best one. Anybody else kind of score low on that?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I jump in and do things like I immediately dive in and start doing them, and I don't really think a lot about whether there's a better way to do it. And a lot of times, if I would think about if there's a better way to do it before diving in, I might come up with a better way to do things, and I wouldn't waste so much time.
I thought about work when I thought of this, and then I said, well, I'm the only one that does things, so my way is this way.
Yeah, but if you look at different ways of doing things, it's going to expand your repertoire of ways to accomplish goals. It's going to broaden your mind. Where else did I score low? I create my own examples to make information more meaningful. I sometimes do that, but sometimes I don't. What? Yeah? Yeah, I don't think about that too much either. I think it's helpful when brainstorming new entrepreneurial activities to think about examples, your own examples in your head. How about metacognitive experience? Who scored kind of low there?
Bad at organizing.
Huh?
Bad at organizing.
Which question?
That's the first one on the back.
Yeah, the backside. I'm good at organizing.
Oh, I am good. Okay. Yeah?
No, I'm horrible. My office is right. I got crap scattered. A bunch of different projects going on.
You hate yourself.
It is what it is. I know where everything. I know what's in my office.
Uh-huh.
Like, if somebody comes in there and moves it,
Then you don't know where it is anymore?
no. So I knew where it was.
Well, I think a lot of times, if you're more organized with the information, details, etc., of an entrepreneurial project, it's not so easy to overlook opportunities. Not so easy to overlook details. Yes.
I gave myself a 10 at organizing the information, but I gave myself a lower score on finding the most important information.
Mm-hmm.
and not like the big problem. It's the second, it's the one underneath that.
Oh, I know what kind of information is most important to consider. Yeah.
I went high on that one.
Huh?
I went high on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
You
not
feel like you cut to the chase pretty quickly on what's the important information?
Yeah, I don't like try to fluff things. It's really, I don't like digging around and stuff. I don't really, I like to be straight to the point rather than beat around the bush.
I think your point is right about sometimes getting lost in the you can't see the forest for the
And
trees.
sometimes I know more about a certain part of it, so I'll focus on that because I know how to do that rather than something unknown. So I do that for the last part, when that's probably the most important.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard.
Okay. I scored kind of low on that one too. I tend to. A weakness of mine is that I also tend to get lost in the details too much, and sometimes I will be so concerned about getting the. I'll be so concerned about getting the exact details of this discussion right that I miss the overall picture of whether we're all actually learning something about entrepreneurship or not. So I kind of scored low on that one too. I also scored kind of low on my gut tells me when a given strategy I use will be most effective. Anybody else low on that?
Yeah, that was my lowest one.
Yeah?
The whole thing, yeah. Because like, I think it's because I sit there, like I'll get a gut feeling, don't get me wrong, but I'm a perfectionist in a way, where I like have to sit there and be like, okay, what else can I do? So I don't ever act on my gut feeling too much. Does that make sense?
So you don't act on your gut feeling?
Not, well, sometimes I do, but I don't, it doesn't usually give me that first like motive of action because I always like logically try to like work through the process and kind of envision like what I would do to get to the end result before I like think about that.
Okay.
So I'll usually skip that part of the strategy.
I tend to find that I don't like. It's not so much that I don't have a gut feeling, but I don't think enough about what's the most important strategy. I pick what my strategy is and I go with it, whether it was the right strategy or not. I think that's one of my limitations. One of my limitations as an entrepreneur is that I don't consider alternative strategies enough.
So you do know if you got feeling more often, or?
No, I go with my gut feeling, but my gut feeling is only one strategy. I never evaluate whether there's other strategies that could be more effective. And that's a weakness in finding new ways to do things. How about metacognitive choice? Yes.
I scored pretty low on the one that says, I ask myself if I have learned as much as I could after I finish the task. I feel like it relates to the one that we were talking about,
You look back after.
yeah, looking back at how you accomplished it. Like, I'll sit there and look at what I did right and wrong,
Mhm.
but I'll never go that extra step about asking if I learned as much as I should have.
Yeah, it does. I scored low on that one too. I think, what like Cole was saying before, and like it's the case for many of us. You get done with one goal and you arrive on the next one, and I think there's a lot of times you can learn from your past actions if you just stop for a second and evaluate them before moving on. And I don't do that enough myself. So yeah, that's a good one. Any other ones that were low on that?
I ask myself if I have considered all the options when solving the problem.
Mhm.
I'll just like 2 or 3, but never make a full list.
Yeah, me either. And obviously, you can't consider 100 options because you never get anything done.
That and your time.
Yeah, it takes too much time. But I think it's important to always push yourself to think of more options. Way too often in my 2 businesses that I started, I only thought of 1 option or 2, and I didn't take the time to consider whether there were other options available, and it really limited limited my decisions and I ended up making poor decisions because of that. How about monitoring? That last one. Anybody score kind of low on that?
I pause regularly to check my comprehension.
Uh-huh.
I don't really do that.
I scored low on that one too. I think I assume a lot of times that I already comprehend things when maybe I don't comprehend them as well as I think. I tend to have a closed mind. I think I know it all already sometimes, and I don't review enough to see whether I actually understood comprehend everything or not. How about you?
Kind of. To an extent, I mean, I don't know, I just don't really stop. I'm on something, I don't care. Really, if I think that or do something else. Yeah, way too much practice, I think. Stop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I understand. It's one of the biggest problems I always faced as an entrepreneur was that I never had enough time. You know, I was always
Hours a day to do anything.
always concerned about closing the next deal. I was always concerned about getting the next customer project done, and I never stopped long enough to consider anything. It's really important that you take time to stop and consider, at least periodically. Anybody else score low on monitoring?
The first one,
Uh-huh.
I just didn't understand it.
Periodically review to help me understand important relationships.
Like, what do you mean by relationships?
I think the relationships between concepts in the task.
I didn't understand that one either. But now that you put it that way, my score jumped up.
Huh?
My score went up. I didn't understand it, so it kind of went low.
Uh-huh.
So once you point it that way, I went more.
Okay. You went more up then?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the point there is do you ask yourself whether you understand the interrelationship between different things you have to do in a certain task? Okay. Well, my part of my assignment for you guys, is that I want you to take this with you. I want you to take this survey with you, and I want you to think, how can you improve on the numbers that you're low on? How can you push yourself to improve on some of those numbers? That is part of your entrepreneurial career plan. So if we go back to the detailed course syllabus again, this is your first homework assignment. Due by week 4. I want you to write up even half a page. Doesn't have to be very long. No more than half a page. What could you do to push yourself to think more broadly on some of these areas where you scored low? Okay? No more than half a page. And that's due 2 weeks from now. Just email me an attached document. That's the way I prefer it. What's that? Word. Send me a Word document, half a page. Okay, so with the time that we've got left, I wanted to go over a little bit and talk about LinkedIn and talk about your career development plans. So, oh, good, I'm already logged in. So, this is, yes. Did you have your hand up? It's okay? Okay. So I want to point out a couple things about LinkedIn here. How many people used your LinkedIn profile heavily before I made you use it for this class? Okay, just a couple of you. LinkedIn is a fabulous networking resource. One of the amazing things about LinkedIn is you can find a person in almost any company you want just by typing in and searching on that company name. Somebody in here, give me the name of a company where you'd like to find a contact.
State Farm.
Huh?
State Farm.
State Farm? Okay. So if we type in State Farm in the search window there, there's also a lot of jobs that are listed on LinkedIn, but you'll see here people results for State Farm. 190,000 people at one time or another had State Farm on their resume. Sometimes it might be their current job, it might be a former job for some other people, but somewhere on there they work for State Farm. And if you look here at just to the right of the name of the person, there's a little first or second or third, and that describes how you know that person. So first means that I know that person directly. So these first two here are a couple of my former students. So if I click on the right-hand side here first, that'll show me just the people that I know directly that have some kind of connection to State Farm. If I click on second, you'll see 758 results. Here's a State Farm agent right here. I know someone, it says second, which means I know someone who knows James. And if I just click on James's name, it says right here, you and James both know Jay Thompson. So if I wanted to meet James, all I have to do is send a message to Jay saying, hey Jay, I wanted to find a contact at State Farm. I noticed that you know James. Could you introduce me to him? And sometimes people are comfortable with that, other times they're not. But I would never have even known that Jay knew somebody at State Farm if I didn't search on it here. So it's a really great tool. And once you guys are connected to me on LinkedIn, once you're connected to me, that means you have access to all my contacts too. So all these ones that say second for me, they'll say third for you, which means you know someone who knows someone who knows that person. All of my first degree contacts, for example, those will show up as second degree contacts for you. So anybody I know directly, it'll show up and you can click on the person's name and it'll say you guys both know Jeremy Woods. I have yet to find an organization in the world where I can't find a contact by using this. It's really, really amazing just how broad of a network that LinkedIn gives you. I also want to talk a little bit about the way that you put your profiles together. So, first of all, this is my profile. This is what it looks like when I go in to edit it. The first thing that I wanted to point out to you guys is this positioning statement, the summary at the very top of the profile. It's important that you state the kind of professional that you are at the top of your profile. It really kind of sets the tone for the rest of the profile. So if you want to be known as a small business professional, or you want to be known as a banking expert, you want to be known as a marketing professional, whatever it is, you type here in the summary section, marketing professional with X number of years of experience. And everybody in here has at least 4 years of project-based experience because you've been doing projects for your classes for the last 4 years. So even if you don't have marketing experience in a marketing job, you do have experience from your classes, which we're going to talk about in a second, how to put that into your LinkedIn profile. So depending on what career you want to go into next, what kind of professional you want to be seen as, it's important to put a statement at the beginning of the profile about what kind of professional you are, how many years of experience you have, and then the second sentence is just kind of picking some highlights of what you're an expert at. So in my own case, I'm a business development scholar, educator, and consultant, specialist in small business executive decision-making, entrepreneurial project implementation, sales management, a couple other things. Depending on what your experience has been so far, what classes you took at CSUB that you really liked and kind of identified with, you can cherry pick different things that you have some experience at as an expert and put those in here too. So it would read marketing professional with 4 years of project-based experience. Areas of expertise include perceptual map development and customer analysis. I don't know. It all depends on what you've done in your jobs and what you've done in your classwork. But you're gonna put some kind of positioning statement like that at the beginning of the profile. Make sure you put a picture, or if for some reason you don't want to put a picture of yourself on LinkedIn, at least put a landscape or a cartoon or a logo of some kind. Don't leave the picture box blank. Even if you put like a picture of like a graph of like sales going upwards, you could put that instead of your face if you wanted to. But make sure you have some kind of image there, so it's not blank. Next is educational projects. So a lot of you guys, the experience that you have from the homework that you've done in your classes and the projects you've done for your classes, that experience is more impressive than the experience you actually have in your job, or the work that you've done in your job up until now. So rather than just talking about having served tables or been a cash register attendant or having been an administrative assistant or whatever, you've done some pretty impressive things in your homework in your classes, and there's a way to capture that in LinkedIn and show it like work experience. So you're going to want to go to the right-hand side here where it says Add New Profile section. Go down to Accomplishments, and there's a thing called Projects. If you click on Projects, you can type a project name, start date, end date, and a brief description of the project. So as an example of this, if we go down on my profile, 4 projects. This first project here, Applications Development Using VBA, that's a class that I took when I was doing my PhD on Visual Basic programming. So nowhere else in my profile does it say anywhere that I know how to program Visual Basic. But I have that skill set, and I wanted to make sure that it's documented in my profile. So I just went in and put Applications Development Using VBA course project, and participated in a class on Visual Basic Programming. So if you guys had a marketing class, for example, that you wanted to put in your homework for or put in a project for, just right then participated in a marketing class on consumer behavior, period. Deliverable accomplishments include the following. Use that phrase. Deliverable accomplishments include the following. Then go down a line and describe accomplishments to me. Now, this is the next point that I wanted to get into for LinkedIn. A lot of times people describe duties rather than accomplishments. I don't want to know what you. I don't want to know what you were responsible for doing. I want to know what you accomplished. So, I could have said participated in a class on Visual Basic Programming. Studied various programming methods and structures of subroutines. But that doesn't put concrete numbers to things. So I went back and I looked at the course syllabus. Just to remind myself, I went back and looked at the course syllabus. What was the homework that I had to do? And the homework was basically 6 different projects where we had to go in and program code to make Excel do certain things. So I went and looked at some of my homework assignments and ballpark numbers. I looked how many lines of the code did I write for one of the projects, and I just multiplied that by 6. And I came up with, wrote approximately 500 lines of Visual Basic code spread across multiple subroutines for 6 different class projects. So you want to put numbers with your accomplishments. How many projects did you do? How many customers did you interact with? What was the dollar value of inventory that you dealt with? How many reports did you write in a week? Numbers like that are much more impressive to put in your profile than just responsible for.
So just like measurable accomplishments.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I highly recommend for each of you that you add projects to your LinkedIn profile, representing your favorite classes, your favorite homework assignments from your time here at Cal State. It can also be from BC or any other university you've gone to. Just put in your favorite projects and your favorite classes so that you get credit for that experience. And then finally, polish and attention to detail. We'll just go back to the profile here. It's really, some of my colleagues and other older people complain sometimes that millennials don't know how to spell, don't have good grammar, don't write well, and I disagree with them. If you look at like the Declaration of Independence or letters and documents that were written in the 1700s or the 1800s, there's spelling errors all over the place. It's like everybody decided their own way to spell a word, and there was no dictionary. But those documents aren't on the internet. They're not in digital format, so no one ever sees the mistakes. They're in a museum. You'd have to happen to look at the document in a museum to notice all the mistakes. So I don't think you guys make any more mistakes than any other generation of people. But your mistakes are more on the spot because they're online, they're digital, they're available to be looked at all the time. So unfortunately, you need to really go through your profile with a fine-toothed comb. And I go through my profile a couple times a year, and I just read it again. And anything that looks unclear, sometimes I find little grammar mistakes or I find little spelling mistakes, I'll go in and correct them. So you want to make sure that you're continually polishing your profile, continually going in and seeing if you can find any errors or anything that could be stated more clearly. That's the basic stuff for your profile. That's another part of your entrepreneurial, what did I call it again? Let me look at the syllabus. Entrepreneurial career plan. So another part of that assignment, not necessarily due, only your half page is due in 2 weeks. I also want you guys, I'm going to give you some tips on how I want you to change your LinkedIn profiles, and I want you to go in and make those changes. Once you make the changes, you get credit for that part of your grade. And then finally, just to talk briefly about your professional development plans, let me go in here to nope, that's what I thought. Let me pull up a brief document from another class. So, my goal in this class is that you guys all learn something about entrepreneurship. You all learn how to take an idea and turn it into a new business. And I want to make sure you get a job. I want to make sure that, like, whatever you're going to do after you graduate, I want to make sure that this class is contributing to that. So, in real basic terms, I've asked everybody in here, what's your job today, and what do you want your job to be after you graduate? And that way I make sure that I know that I'm tailoring things in the right way for you. I also asked how much money you make today and how much money you need to achieve your goals in life. Not because I need to know how much money you make, but because if you're anything like me, I woefully underestimated how much money I needed to reach my goals in life when I was younger. And I don't want you guys to be disappointed when you're not reaching your goals because you didn't plan on how much money it was actually going to cost. So I've got some slides in here that I'll go to here in a second that kind of prompt you more about the costs that things actually cost in this world. Baseline, mid-range, and long-term goals. I asked you for what you would do if you were king or queen for a day, because it's not just about what your job is after you graduate. I really want to know what your dream is. I want you guys to dream big and start to make plans to achieve those dreams. So that's why I ask about the far future as well. And then the rule of 10, I'm very superstitious about the number 10. I'm a former salesman, and I know whenever I want to close a sales deal, I need at least 10 leads. I need to be talking to 10 people. If I'm talking to 10 people, one of them will say yes. If I'm only talking to 1 or 2 people, I might only hear no. So depending on what you want your job to be in the future, make sure you got 10 applications out there, not just 1 or 2. And make sure if you're maybe your job is set right now, but your dream would be to get into trading real estate. So right now you've got your fine job. You're going to stay in your same job after you graduate, no problem. But it'd be cool 5 or 10 years from now to get into real estate development. Well, you can start looking for contacts today on LinkedIn that are in the real estate business who can give you advice on how to get into it. But you want to make sure that you're looking for 10 different contacts so that at least one of them works out and is available to talk to you. So you always want to have multiple irons in the fire if you want something to work out in life. We'll skip over this. some of the main goals that most of you could have after graduation. Just for those of you who haven't filled the thing out yet, or if you want to fill it out differently and send it to me again, the normal options here are earning more money in your current job, moving to a new job within the same company, moving to a new job in the same industry. So maybe you were in the agricultural business, but you go from Grimway to Bolthouse after you graduate. Maybe you find a new job in a different industry. So instead of working in agriculture, afterwards you become an accountant. Graduation is a great opportunity to change industries. Grad school is an option for some of you. And then internships, volunteer opportunities, and hobby projects. I really want to encourage you guys not to turn your nose up at internships or volunteer opportunities or hobbies. That's one of the best ways that's one of the best things you can do to reach your long-term goals, is to do internships, to do volunteer things in the area that you want to get into. So as an example of this, between the first and second years of my MBA program, I worked for a company called Artist Direct, which was a music business company. We sold merchandise online from various famous music artists, and then we also had a booking agency that would book their concerts. And all of my classmates were making a lot of money on Wall Street. They were getting big salaries over the summer, and I was just determined that I had to make money in my job. So I got a job at Artist Direct, basically looking at their e-commerce numbers and proposing some ways that they could increase traffic on the site, and I got paid for that. If I had been willing to work for free and just get coffee for people, I could have hung out with the guys that booked the concerts. And they booked concerts for some of the biggest artists in the business. They did it for the Beastie Boys, for the Rolling Stones, for Sublime. I mean, just major artists. And if I had just been willing to work for free, I could have met all these artists. I could have met their agents and their managers, and I might be like a power broker in Hollywood today rather than teaching you guys in this class. But I was too proud to work for free, and so I never got an opportunity to meet all those stars and make all those contacts. So you really don't turn your nose up at working for free, especially if it's in the industry that you want to get into, because it's a great way to get your foot in the door. Realistic budget-based income goals. When I asked you to plan how much money you need to make after graduation, I want you to make sure that taxes and withholding are considered. So, like, it's not your gross, it's your net that's important. So if you have a $50,000 salary, you're probably bringing home $35,000, not $50,000. It's a lot different. It's a lot different what your paycheck actually says at the end of the day than what your overall salary is. So make sure that you're actually planning on what your net salary is, not your gross salary. You really want to save 20% of your revenue, of your money coming in, if you can. In addition to savings for retirement and like long in the future, putting aside a rainy day fund, having cash available if you have health problems or if you lose your job and if you lose your job tomorrow and can't work for 6 months, either because of health issues or because of getting fired or laid off, what are you going to do to make money? It's important to have some money set aside so that you don't have to go immediately find another job, maybe doing something you don't like to do just in order to pay the bills. if you've got money set aside for a rainy day. Health care, rent and utilities, car payment, telecom, food, entertainment, all of that should be in your budget. If it's not, it should be. I'm going to skip that one for now. Yes?
Will you upload this to Blackboard since it's in a different classroom?
Yes, I can upload this to Blackboard, but will you send me an email to remind me to do that?
Okay.
Send me an email to upload this to Blackboard, because it's not in Blackboard right now, and I'll forget by the time the class is over. How many people in here don't really know what you want to be when you grow up? What Color is Your Parachute is a great book that I highly recommend you get. You can get it for about $5 or $10 on Amazon. It has all kinds of different exercises that you fill out. So it asks you, like, what kind of information do you like to use? What kind of relationships do you like to have? It asks you all kinds of different questions about the way that you like to live your life. And then based on what your answers are to all those surveys, it gives you some suggestions on careers that you would most like. And I did this right after undergrad, and it said I should be a university professor. And this is by far and away, this is the best job I've ever had. I love being a professor. It's such a cool job. And if I had just listened to what the book said, I could have been doing this 20 years ago already. So if you don't quite know what you want to do in life, or you think you know, but you just want to test and make sure, great book to use to think about future careers. The last thing I wanted to mention here is for your long-term goals, I want you to dream big and plan for it. So one of the reasons I asked you how much money you'd like to make ideally in the long run is because it's going to take you. It's going to be hard to get from here to there. Like, if you really know how much things cost, you realize how much money you have to set away each month or each year in order to reach those goals, and it becomes more real for you. So if you want to buy a house, for example, you're lucky because real estate prices are pretty affordable here in Bakersfield. Maybe, let's say, a $200,000 house. 20% down payment on that is $40,000. If you saved $400 a month for 100 months, which is about 10 years, you'd have $40,000. Okay? If you save $1,000 for 40 months, which is about 3.5 years, is that right? 4 years? Then you have enough money then. But you need to plan ahead for these costs. Taking care of your parents when they're old, for example, that's something I'm dealing with my dad right now. $3,000 a month. $3,000 a month if you want to put your parents in a private room with assisted care. If you don't want them to have a roommate, then it's $3,000 a month. Being a millionaire. If you set aside, I think it was, if you save $20,000 a year for 20 years and you invest it at 10% interest, you'll be a millionaire. I can't remember the exact calculation. I did it the other day. And then just for fun, I put in here owning a Learjet. Learjets cost about $60 or $70 million, but you can rent space on a jet for about $500,000 down payment and $200,000 a year in fees. So some interesting numbers to think about for your long-term goals. I want to make sure that you're thinking realistically about how to get to where you want to go. So the last part of your professional development assignment is I'm going to give you some tasks to do to meet your goals professionally. And as soon as you've done those tasks, you'll get back to me and say you've done them, and you'll get the rest of your credit for the entrepreneurial career plan. That's why I had you put together those professional development plans. Okay? We're out of time. Enjoy the weekend. I will see you guys next week. And next week we're finally gonna split up into groups and start talking about which projects you're gonna do. So think about your entrepreneurial projects over the weekend. We're gonna talk about those next week. Yes. We're going to decide groups next week. We're going to, for in here and in the other class, we're going to decide. Okay? No problem. Who's next? Okay. Well, the first thing you do is look at that survey you filled out and think about the areas where you scored lower. Oh, you have to email me. Remember you weren't on my list?
Oh, so it's, okay, so you will email me?
Yeah, and I'll send you an email with everything you need. Okay? Just email me to tell me, Jeremy, I'm not in the class yet. Okay? Okay?
I will. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, email me to remind me, okay?
I already sent you the email about the PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Who's next?
Oh yeah, I didn't get the survey. I got here late.
What's that?
I didn't get the survey.
Oh, here. Let me get you a clean copy here. Fill this out over the weekend or whatever, and your first assignment that's due in 2 weeks is to write about a half a page on how you could challenge yourself to be better at some of the ones you score low on. Okay? Yes.
You said okay, so I did the link and over the other thing that we had to do.
Say again.
One thing that you told us was to send you the link and
Uh-huh.
profile, so I already did that. But what was the other thing that we had?
Professional development plan.
Uh-huh.
So you remember I sent that email at the beginning of the semester?
Yeah.
There was a document attached to it.
Oh, okay.
It's a PowerPoint.
I was like looking for it.
Open
on Blackboard.
that PowerPoint
Okay.
and just answer the questions in red
Oh, okay.
and send it back to me.
Oh, okay. I was looking for it on Blackboard and was like, I can't.
No,
find
it was attached to that email that I
okay,
sent.
that makes sense. Thank
Okay? No problem.